I can say what I said a couple of weeks ago when I saw RR sending Ashwin at number 3, and today I saw Mitchell Santner again coming at number 3. I believe probably he wore the cap of Sanju Samson and captained the side today.
Good evening. Welcome to yet another episode of Straight Bat with Gulf News and Mr. Cricket UAE. That is Anis Sarjan. Today we have got a panel. We have converged after a rather gripping game. We have got the man himself, Mr. Anis Sarjan. We have got the Gulf News sports editor, A.K. Satish, and two of the fans from the rival teams, Anmol Verma, who will be understandably happy after the Punjab Kings pulled off a close one. And of course, we have got our knowledgeable friend Arjun from, who is a die-hard fan of Chennai Super Kings. First up, I'll come to Anis Bhai. How do you sum up the match? A tight one and an enjoyable one, I reckon.
Thank you, Gautam. Hello, Satish. Hello, Anmol. Hello, Arjan. And hello to all the lovely people of Gulf News. Well, to sum up, I can say what I said a couple of weeks ago when I saw RR sending Ashwin at number 3, and today I saw Mitchell Santner again coming at number 3. I believe probably he wore the cap of Sanju Samson and captained the side today. Firstly, when he was bowling, Santner bowled 2 overs for 8 runs, and he doesn't get to bowl 4 overs. He did this in the last game also against Mumbai, where he bowled only 2 overs. And what you see baffles me that after, Uttappa got out, you see Santner coming in, the left-hander, to take strike. I have never seen Santner coming so early. Maybe he must be doing it in the domestic for New Zealand. And then when you mess up with the power play, you can't expect Santner. Okay, if it comes out, it comes out. But he's not your pinch hitter. Come on, guys. And then when Rayudu brought them back into the game, it was again Jadeja who messed up with the bat this time, was trying to hit the ball hard. I don't know when MS Dhoni has finished the game last time, why are you coming ahead of him and messing up a winning game? So CSK have themselves to blame. Maybe it is Jadeja's decision, whose decision, I don't know. But it's a decision which has cost them the game.
Right. That's you're spot on, I think. I will come to Anmol with this. Anmol, it's not that, it changes the position of Punjab Kings appreciably. But after 3, back-to-back losses, if you won a close game, which you pulled off with, with an 11-run margin, it does give your morale, boost. And there are quite a few things which you have done right today. How do you sum it up, Anmol?
Yes, firstly, I am very happy with the performance of Punjab Kings, and I'm very happy with each of the Punjabi squad, that how they have played today. Firstly, to start with the Dhawan. Actually, I know this is a T20 game, but he's an ODI player, and he played the right way on the in this pitch, as this pitch was performing, and this pitch was so slow, and he required a lot of class to time the ball, and he played with the field, and something as he so does often in the ODIs. And to sum up, that everything was good with Punjab today. Some Rayudu masterclass was there in between. That was a negative side, but Arshdeep did a quite good job. He deserved all the respect. He deserved all the credit what he has done in today's match.
Right. Okay, I'll come to Arjun. Arjun, what do you think? Did you fancy the chances of CSK? To be very honest, when finally they were left to get as much as 27 runs in the last over. Yes, of course, MSD was there, but then, as Anis Bhai said, I mean, MSD had come in at a time when things had only got difficult. What do you think, Arjun?
I think the last over, it was already gone by that time. 27 runs. You can't even get that in a video game. So right. I think what they should have done different is their opening. And I say this a lot. It's because CSK always starts horribly in the power play. They can only sometimes they get above 30 runs. But most of the times, even less than 30 runs. They need a strong opening lineup. They can't always rely on Dhoni to finish it. Of course, Rayudu played an absolutely amazing innings. I love that one over where it was like 4-6-6-6-6-4. And even though he was injured, I think Rayudu did a good job. But CSK needs a better batsman. I'm sure we can somewhat groom Dubey into a good batsman. And Gaikwad, of course, he can, once he gets in form, of course, he's very, very deadly. But yeah, today's match, at this point, CSK fans are just watching CSK matches for fun. They just want to see the players play.
No pressure. Yeah.
Dhoni. Yeah.
Right. On that note, I'll come to Satish. Satish, a few things in this match, which I'd like to pick your brains about. I mean, the normal cricketing intelligence doesn't ever go out of fashion. One, of course, the way we saw Shikhar Dhawan pacing his innings. Subsequently, you've got Sandeep Sharma, who has played over 100, IPL matches. This is his second stint with Punjab Kings. The over where Rayudu took him on. I mean, the way the balls that he were pitching, it was just in the slot for Rayudu to hit all over the place. Now, the same, when Arshdeep comes bowling under pressure, such a difference he had been able to make. So, if you can just talk about this normal cricketing intelligence, whether you're playing a T20 or whatever you're playing, that always works. What do you feel, Satish, about it?
Gautam, that over I won't really bother much because obviously like when the opponents are going to throw the bat at you, sometime or the other they are likely to click. I That's probably only one over. But if you look at from the other side, Chennai has been almost they have bowled 22.2 overs. If you look at, they bowled 11 wides, and a bowler like Bravo, I think that is where the team lost more than the other side. Like I think Punjab did everything right, and I'm quite happy with the way Mayank rotated his bowlers. He made the right changes when he started putting pressure at a time when Rayudu and Rituraj were going together. He brought in Arshdeep and Rabada again back to put more pressure on them to get that wicket. So I think that everything was done well by Punjab. And I think one over of Sandeep Sharma, whether you played 100 T20s or 200 T20s, it doesn't matter because obviously it's going to come at some stage, and Sandeep Sharma doesn't have the pace to trouble the batters. And I think the Chennai Super Kings made their homework so that they wanted to attack him, and it paid off. But the fact remains that Bravo or Bravo has played more than 200 T20s, but he was spraying the ball.
500 wickets. Yeah, right.
He was literally bowling outside the pitch to be called a no ball. And when I seriously don't understand where they went wrong. Their fielding was not up to the mark. I'm getting the feeling that this is the Chennai that was there 2 years ago when they were absolutely clueless. Because if you look at one over where there was a mid-off and 2 balls were bowled on the slot for Shikhar Dhawan to play those drives. So all these matter. The winning margin.
Who's the captain, Satish? Who's to be blamed? Will you again say that MS Dhoni is driving the shots?
No way. It is Jadeja, of course.
Can you just give me one justification of Santner coming at number 3? Does it make sense?
If I don't know. Maybe like if Moeen Ali was playing at number 3, he was a far recognized batsman than
Satish,
Santner.
You cannot compare Santner to Moeen Ali.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
What is the logic of sending him at number 3? For God's sake, can anybody tell me? Gautam, Arjan, I have no idea.
I'll come to Anis Bhai about it. I mean, Anis Bhai, this cricketing part is there, but at the same time, Liam Livingstone, I just like to speak a bit about him. He's the guy who made the difference in the first leg match between against the same opponents. And today that 19 runs of 77 balls. Once again, he had proved himself to be, though he got clobbered while he was bowling, he had kind of cemented his place. What do you feel about Liam Livingstone, Anis Bhai?
Well, Punjab has been surviving in this tournament because of 2 players batting. One is Livingstone and one is Rajapaksha. Finally, better sense prevailed that they got Rajapaksha. Okay, not because he scored. He would have failed also because he's coming back after 5 matches after scoring well in the first 2 games.
Yeah, 2
But
catches were
having
dropped
said that,
early in the innings. Yeah,
having said that, you see,
sorry.
the momentum was built in the end by Dhawan and Livingstone, but the platform was given by Rajapaksha and Dhawan. And I would still say that he should open the innings, Rajapaksha, because he's a guy who can utilize the power play. You want to maximize the power play. Power play is like gold. If you don't make runs in the power play, you are misusing it. Okay, if you might lose Rajapaksha for a duck, but then you play the same game what you played today, what Mayank and Dhawan did.
Right. And as well, another thing here, see, we are criticizing Chennai Super Kings fine, but with more than half your league matches gone, when you have played 7-8 matches, and you know that you don't have a hope in hell, for really to make it. How difficult is it for a team to strategize right and go through with the rest of the matches? That okay, you finish 5th or 6th in the table. I mean, how practical is it for a team which has won 4 titles? I mean, does a kind of sense of resignation set in somewhere?
I wouldn't be able to justify whether resignation has set in, but yes, your moral is down, and we can, to be very honest, in this whole tournament, Chennai has won 2 games, and mind you, both 2 games, the last game especially against Mumbai, they've won from nowhere. That is because MS Dhoni could play that knock in the last over. The one game which they won against RCB was with ease. That also, I felt that if DK, there are no ifs and buts, but DK almost took them there. They have forgotten how to win. But the fact remains that CSK this time under Ravindra Jadeja has looked as clueless as I would say that Mumbai has been this time with the likes of Ishan and Rohit.
Right. I'll come to Satish about it. Satish, I'll come to Arjun. I'll definitely come to you after this. Satish, see, I remember we having a discussion. It was a hurriedly convened program when MSD had stepped down at the 11th hour and Jadeja was made the captain. And I remember Anish bhai saying that it's going to make quite a difference. So we thought that, okay, I mean, Dhoni will be there. His mentorship will be there. But Jadeja hardly got, I mean, in fits and starts, maybe he was doing the right thing. But overall, he had been a bit of a disaster as a captain. Satish, your take on that?
It's so disastrous that the entire team looks clueless. Gautam, they do the basics wrong. You don't drop catches. At least like every match there have been 3 to 4 catches dropped. You don't let the ball go through your legs and hands and fingers and everything. These are some of the elementary mistakes. Whether it is again that shows what an important role Dhoni has played, because 6 players from the team that won last year are still there. But still, Jadeja is not able to make them into a cohesive winning unit. And I think they need to go back to the drawing board and see where they're going wrong. Absolutely. It's not about the skills. Everybody had the skills, but I think mentally they are not in the game. That's what I get this feeling. Though I'm a hardcore Chennai fan and I don't think that it is justified because they've won 4 titles, but still, these are some of the elementary stuff which even a club cricketer would be pulled up if they don't do that well. Many things.
Fine. No, Satish, here, I mean, before I go to Arjun, one quick thing I want to ask you. That is, you see, I mean, it may sound odd, but the fact remains that we speak about MSD's leadership skills. We speak about his finishing skills. The last match is still fresh in memory. But when you take a decision as important as that, say 7 days before the tournament starts, so we don't know, at least I don't know what was the trigger, or whether he wanted to keep this for the last and pull off that one. Now, doesn't the team management come to a decision? I mean, is the individual greater than the team, that you suddenly feel like stepping down when the entire hype had been built with a person X as the leader, and you have got Jadeja, and finally, we are laying the blame at the doorstep of Jadeja. So how fair is that? I mean, the team works. Basically, CSK has given everything to MSD. He runs the show. you know better than I do. Now, do you think that individuals' preferences should take precedence over this? What do you feel about it, really?
I don't think it's an individual decision, Gautam. It's a team management decision, and they must have spoken about it. Yes, they came in at the 11th hour is something different, but we are blaming Jadeja because he accepted to be the captain. He could have very well said, "No, I don't want to be the captain," but he said,
No,
"Yes, I will be the."
then we are looking at possibly a leadership crisis. That
It could be.
for a team which bonds so well like CSK. I mean that is
No, but in that case, they could have even given it to Bravo. He's been a West Indies captain. So that's what it's a collective decision. Team management, they have come with a decision to maybe groom Jadeja for the next year. But that is fine. I see again. That's what, even if Dhoni was there today, will you tell Bravo to bowl on the stumps? Is it possible? Is it necessary?
That is true. That is true. Your team is, the captain is as good as his team. You cannot deny that fact.
These are, you can't
Right.
tell these players to take those simple catches that come their way, and you can't know, like, these are something. That's what I keep telling you. These are elementary. Where even the one thing which I would say blame Jadeja is, with this pressure, he was a bit clueless in his game. His bowling has failed, his batting has failed, even his fielding has failed, where he has been dropping catches. Apart from that, the captaincy per se, not much can be done, because the players have to take responsibility themselves, because they are all professionals right now.
Right. Yes, Arjun, you were saying something?
Yeah. About the captaincy. I
Yes.
think it's wrong to blame Dhoni for all this. He's a human being after all. Like, you can't expect him to captain forever. He's in his 40s now. I
Right.
think Jadeja should take the blame. He can be a good captain. It's not like you're born with these kind of skills. You have to learn these kind of skills. And I think Dhoni as a mentor or coach would be a much better idea than still keeping him in the team. Because Jadeja needs to be groomed into that kind of captain. He won't be as good as Dhoni, of course. But we still need a good captain to run CSK. It's not like we're just going to go with a backup plan and choose Bravo. We need Jadeja here, and he needs to become better as a captain.
Yes. I mean, he will possibly grow into the role. I mean, he has spent more than a decade in international cricket. You're right. I get your point. Yes, I will come to Anis Bhai now. Anis Bhai, a quick word about the competition which we are running. We still have more than a month to go of the tournament. If we just quickly run through, and then we will talk about tomorrow's game, an important one.
Well, the prediction you got to make about every match, who's going to win the match. I predicted today Chennai is going to win. That's why I'm very, very upset. But the fact is that this IPL has given us a lot of surprises. Predict the winner. Go on to your favorite page, Gulf News, and you walk away with a T-shirt which Anmol is wearing, along with a track and a cap, and a year's digital subscription of Gulf News.
Right. Sounds good. And Anis Bhai, on that note again, I'll come back to you. Rajasthan Royals, certainly the team to beat, along with Gujarat Titans in the way the league has gone so far, versus RCB. Now, RCB, it's quite critical. I mean, the thing is, they're still on 10 points, but after that, 68. They need to regroup quickly and find their bearings against Rajasthan Royals. How will the task be cut out for them? What do you feel? How the match is going to pan out?
It's going to be difficult. Mind you, last time they were caught on the back foot by the seam bowling and the fast bowling of Sunrisers. And I wouldn't be surprised if Rajasthan Royals unleash the same with Bolt, Prasidh Krishna. Just they go all out over them. And we'll have to see how RCB come back. They have been heavily depending this year on one man, DK, who's been scoring. The top order has been absolutely failing. Some contribution has come from Faf in one of the innings, a couple of innings, and a little bit from Maxwell. But I'm afraid the likes of the Virat Kohlis, the Rawats, they've all failed badly. And I see RR outright favorites to go on to win, even though in the first match when they played, RCB chased thanks to DK, but I'm not sure it's happening tomorrow.
Right. Satish, your take, please, tomorrow's game.
I think it's it's going to be Bangalore tomorrow because Butler has been in amazing form, but the law of averages could take over sometime
Why
or
the
the
law of
other.
averages did not come in the last 7 games? Why it will come tomorrow?
Exactly. I'm just hoping that because see it's too good to be true to like keep scoring every game 100 because without Butler, Rajasthan looks clueless number one. But the number two and the most important is second and the most important is even if they score 220, the bowling is not sure that they are leaking runs. 2 games after scoring 200 plus, they won by 10 runs and 15 runs. That means the bowling, there is some serious issues despite having 2 best spinners in the country at this point in time.
Right. Arjun, your take, please. Rajasthan Royals versus RCB. Who do you think are the favorites?
Like according to the stats, I think it's gonna be Rajasthan Royals. But you see, in this kind of tournament, the stats don't really matter because the table could just switch any second now. So actually, I choose RCB because they've been in good form. Sure, a few here and there, but I think against Rajasthan Royals, like Satish said, without Ross Butler, they are clueless.
Anmol, what's your take? Anmol, I mean, do you think? I think I'll put this question a little differently to you. Do you think Virat Kohli is finally going to come good after the string of the Golden Ducks, etc.? We have spoken at length. We can go on and on about it, but let's just try to find out from you. Do you think it'll be he's waiting to turn the corner tomorrow?
Yeah, Virat Kohli. It's been 100 matches without 100, or even if we say that he's going with a rough patch, but I would say to Virat Kohli that a king is a king, and you can't forget his class. But after all, he deserves to be a rest. He deserves a rest from a team, from a baggage that he was carrying from a long time, and he's not performing. That is his mindset, or what is going in his mind. I can't predict that, and I can't say anything about that.
Right. Yes, it's been a bit of a conundrum, as we call it, for RCB because they cannot afford to rest him at a critical stage in this tournament because one slip here and there, and you always keep hoping that this man comes good, this man comes good. So on that note, if you ask me, I will still say that it's difficult to look beyond Rajasthan Royals and form. But at the same time, as Satish says, that they, if Butler fails, then they haven't been tested that much. I mean, because in the lower middle order, there are people like you've got a Rian Pirag who is good with his cameos, hasn't had taken that responsibility so far in his 3-4 years that he had been with Royals. But still, I would say it will be Royals, and let's see how it goes. And meanwhile, thanks for tuning in with us. And tomorrow we'll again come back for another edition of this our straight bat with Gulf News and Mr. Cricket TV.